Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. I am your host, Bob Benham. I appreciate you checking in and ready to listen to my thoughts and ideas and all the other garbage that I try to give everybody, but sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. Um, but I do appreciate you checking in. And boy, a lot's been going on as usual. And uh, I am uh, really, really just, I am to the point now where um, it's time to start making, uh, almost start making citizen arrests of these treasonous bastards on the left for treason. Um, because these democratic socialists um, are are not American citizens. They are totally against our Constitution, our way of life, and against just everything that has to go or be with the United States of America. Um, all you have to do is go on their website and read what they want to do. And they're not shy about it. They are willing to just wipe out everything about our way of life here now. They are against capitalism. They are totally for total government control over every aspect of our lives. And that is not what our country is about. Our country is about freedom. Our country is about freedom to, choose our religion, freedom to choose all that. And now I'm going to kind of backtrack on that with the religion because Islam is not a religion. Um, you can argue that all you want. It is not a religion. It is a cult, and it is a political way of life. It is a government. It is not a religion. Um, this thing has been argued many times over the course of centuries. 1,400 years it's been argued about, and it is not a religion. It is not. Um, it is strictly a cult. When they worship a man and they don't worship God, I mean, they'll say Allah, whatever. I don't even want to try to pronounce it because I don't have any use for them whatsoever. Because of their total um, disregard for human life, um, total disregard for just for people living freely. Um, it's disgusting to me. It is evil, pure evil, 100% plus. So I mean, they go against everything, against what we as a nation stand for. And they don't belong here. They do not belong here. I mean, go and look at what they're doing in Grand Rapids, Michigan. They're up there chanting "Death to America." Now, how is it that they can be up in a U.S. state and city and chanting that and walking down the street and doing that freely? Now, yes, okay, you can argue they have freedom of speech and blah, 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 but they are chanting death to America, the very country they are in. No, that's not acceptable. Period. I it just baffles my mind that we let them get away with that. I can't accept it. I cannot accept it. Um, to let these idiots just completely take over, and they are taking over. They are just all you have to do is look. I mean, watch what they're doing. Even though the mainstream dumbass media are covering for them, um, look at what they're doing. Look at what I mean. They're covering for them here in the United States, but look at what they're doing over in Berlin, Germany. Uh, what they just did over there with that one Muslim that just ran down all those people uh, in their pride, whatever it was, that the gay thing festival. Muslims do not tolerate gays whatsoever. And all these gay people that are sitting there going, talking about Palestine and all this other stuff and free Palestine. I'm here to tell you, go over to Palestine and see what happens to you. You will not be there very long. You'll be dead. I mean, in less than a week, you'll be dead. Free Palestine, they don't give a crap. You could be standing right there going, "Free Palestine," they'll slice your damn throat. That's how ignorant you are. They don't, you're just a tool to them. You're sitting there doing all this stuff and they're going, "Oh, yeah, great. Thank you very much." And then once whatever is achieved or whatever goal is met, you're gone. Period. That's how they look at it, and that's how they look at you. And you're so damn stupid, you can't even see that. But anyway, they and then and where was the other attack? Oh, Paris. The machete attack, I think it was in Paris. Um, I mean, 2 attacks, 2 days. Uh, hello? Hello? People, it doesn't take much to understand what these people are for. They're for one thing and one thing only, and that is control of the world, where they think that one once they have control over everything, then there world peace. But the problem is there's different factions of the Muslim world. They can't stand each other. They're fighting each other. Look at Iran and Iraq. They were fighting each other for years. Afghanistan and Iraq. There's different tribes of Islam, and they are constantly fighting each other. They can't even stand each other. There's never going to be world peace. Never. You have to be I, I'm, you know, anybody that believes in this stuff is absolutely out of their minds. There will always be arguments, fights. There will always be somebody that thinks one way, and somebody else that thinks another way. And there will always be disagreements about it, and it'll always be to the point where one thinks so far to the one side, the other thinks so far to the other side. They can't handle the back and forth and the whatever about it, and uh, it's human nature. 100% human nature. That's just how it is. And until we get to the point where I mean, right now, it is, I mean, you look at our government in the United States, and they can't even get together to pass hardly any legislation. I mean, they're passing some legislation. Don't get me wrong. They're passing some legislation, and the only reason that is because, like I said, it's one party, two names. Okay, there is no distinction between them. I mean, look at what the Save America Act. They're sitting there going, oh, we can't get the votes for it. Yeah, you can't get the votes for it because one party, two names. You people don't want it because you know how the American people think about it. Both parties suffer if everybody has to show ID to vote. Both parties suffer. The Democrats suffer the worst because all these illegal aliens they let in for the last 4 years, especially, and even before that, that got all these IDs because all they had to do is walk into a DMV, get a driver's license, because the Democrats in all these blue states said, yeah, they can have driver's licenses. There's no problem with that. Yeah, come on in and get your driver's license. And then at the same time, they made sure that they had voter registration attached to that, well, why don't you register to vote while you're at it? Oh, okay. Don't have to prove anything. Just here you go. Here's my birth certificate and my social security card. Well, thank you very much. None of it's real. And then they sign the, well, under penalty of fraud. I'm blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Try and catch me. I can't tell you how many times when I was a police officer, we would get stop so many illegals. And this was back in the 1990s and early 2000s. How many I would stop. And they'd give me a fake driver's license with their information on it. And they always had, because most of them were from Mexico, always had their Mexican voter ID card. And God forbid you took that away from them. Oh my gosh, they would just scream and yell and pitch a major fit because, oh, I have to have that. I have to have that so I can get back in the country and then so I can go back and vote when I get back home. They have to have their voter ID card so they can go back home to vote. But here in the United States, no, you don't. Why? You need voter ID for damn near everything else here in the United States. You have to have an ID card to get a fishing license. You have to have an ID card to go to a liquor store, to go buy cigarettes, to cash a check, to go to the bank, to withdraw money that's yours. To buy a house, to buy a car, to get insurance for your house and car. The list is unending for what you need an ID for. But hey, don't need to go vote. No, where I live, yes, you need an ID to go vote. And you know what? I have absolutely no problem pulling my driver's license out and say, here you go. And in fact, I usually say, thank you for asking for it. Because I want you to know who I am. I want you to verify who I am before you hand me that ballot. And the Democrats, it disenfranchises so many people. But it disenfranchises the blacks because they can't get ID to go. Bull crap. Every damn one of them has an ID card. Every one of them. How do you think they get their welfare checks and welfare money and gets their SNAP benefits and everything else? How stupid do you think we are? They have driver's licenses. Oh, but all these married females, they can't get they don't have their birth certificates don't have the right name. It doesn't matter. They don't have to change their birth certificates. They only have to change their driver's licenses. You take your when you go and uh, get married, you just take your birth certificate with your birth name. You take your marriage certificate with your married name. You go to the Social Security office. You get your married name on your Social Security card. You go to the driver's bureau or DMV with your new Social Security card, and you change your name on your driver's license. Done. Democrats, come on. You're so stupid. Stupid as hell. Every time you say something like that, I just want to walk up and smack the shit out of you. Oh, it's systemic racism. There's no systemic racism. None of that shit is even there. You make it all up. You just say stuff just to see, you throw stuff out there just to see if it will stick with some of your crony idiots, and then of course the media is going to grab it and run with it like, oh my god, the world is the country's falling apart because somebody needs an ID to vote. No, it's not. No, it's not. You know, being a veteran of the military, this is all exactly what I fought for. I fought for voter ID. I fought for all that stuff because I want a secure nation. I want a secure nation. That's what that's what we're here for. That's what the military is here for, to make sure the United States is safe and secure, and that the citizens can walk around here free and free from danger, and that they don't even have to worry about turning around, looking over their shoulder, and worrying about what's going to happen next. And right now, they can't do that. Why? Because we have terrorists walking around in this country. We have illegal aliens that are murderers, rapists, and pedophiles and all that stuff that are walking around that will kill you in an instant if they get a chance. All led in by Joe Biden and his cronies. Actually, I should say President Barack Hussein Obama and his cronies, which is Joe Biden, because Joe Biden didn't have a damn clue to anything what was going on. Not a clue. I don't know why Joe Biden ain't in jail for elder abuse. Unreal. Oh, everything's just so unreal. You know, all my life, I have never, maybe I've seen 3 or 4 politicians go to jail in my lifetime. That's it. And they are so flippin' crooked, but they don't go to jail. And neither does their staff. Nobody. It is beyond comprehension to me. We go to talk to them or get called in front of them, we have to tell the truth. We have to, or we go to jail. That's that's just how it is. Period. We have to tell the truth. But they can lie their asses off all day long and nothing happens. Nothing. No investigation, nothing. They just walk on by. Mm. I mean, look at how many times when a real journalist asks them questions, especially the Democrats, when a journalist walks up, a real journalist trying to get answers, when they walk up to the Democrat, how many will answer? 0. They ignore them. They keep walking. They will not look at them, and they will not answer them. Why? Because they can't. They can't answer them because they can't say anything because they have no answer to give because they can't tell the truth. They can't tell the truth. All they have is lies. 100% lies. And sometimes if they do answer, what do? They end up slipping and saying exactly what the Republicans have been saying. What does that go back to? One party, two names. It is absolutely insane. Insane. You know, they keep Senator John Thune keeps saying, "Oh well, we don't have the votes to pass this bill. We don't have the votes to pass this bill. We need to work on this before we work on that." You know, pass the Save America Act, the one that requires everybody to have a voter ID, basically. Very simple act. Very simple. Voter ID must and no mail-in ballots, except unless you're a military person overseas or you're uh, disabled, so and you can't get to the voting place or whatever. And I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard to figure out. You got 80% of the country that wants this passed. And you are been elected to represent the people. Why aren't you representing the people? Why aren't you getting the job done? This is disgusting. We know why the Democrats aren't representing the people. That's not in their playbook. It's all about power to them. They have to hold the power. They don't care how it's all about individual power, not representing the people. It's about them holding on to their power. And obviously, it's about Republicans holding on to their power as well because they're not interested in it at all. 80% of the American people say pass it. That's 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 a big number. Big number. That's out of 335 million people in this country, 80% say pass it. No, but no, not our Congress. No, they're no, we can't. We don't have the votes. Baloney. You idiots just don't. You don't represent the people. You don't truly represent the people. You never have. It's all about power, individual power. It's all about you getting reelected again so you can stay there. It's all about making that position that you hold a career. That's all it is. Weird. We're worried about a communist country becoming a communist country. And we're not far off. We're not far off at all. We keep electing the same dumbass idiots back to Congress. Why? Why do we do that? Might as well be a communist country already. We don't elect anybody different. Might get a different, you elect somebody different, you might get a different result. You might get what the result that you're really wanting to see. But we don't do that. More interested in Seeing more of the same, the more of the dumbasses that we already have. Just doesn't make sense. Why do we do what we do? And many of the veterans that I talk to just shake their head in disbelief because less than 1%, I mean, as it stands right now in this nation, we only have about 1.5 million people on active duty in the military. That's it. That's serving our nation. That's it. And we have even less serving as police officers. You talk about a thin blue line. And you talk about the military, how thin that line is to save our nation, to protect our nation. And then you got all these stupid Democrats and morons out there and mentally ill individuals. These Democrats are literally mentally ill. Literally mentally ill. There is no other way to describe it. I mean, the things they do and say. It is beyond beyond comprehension. To let this even be. I've just I've seen too much, I guess, and experienced too much that it's just plain shocking. And I keep hoping for a turnaround, and I can't see it. Because there's too many of those stupid morons in office. And the only reason why those stupid morons get into office is because conservatives will not go out to vote. They don't vote. And it's sad. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a declared conservative. That's it. Because I do not agree with the Republicans at all. I mean, I agree with some of the things they do, but for the most part, like I said, it's one party, two names. So I just cannot say I'm a Republican because there's just too much garbage that they're like. I mean, like now with John Thune and oh, we can't pass the Save America Act. Bull crap. Bull crap. You don't even you're just too damn lazy to go to get these people on board and get it over with. And oh, we can't kill the filibuster. We don't have that vote for that. Blah 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 blah. All this other hogwash going on. This is a bunch of bullshit. Plain and simple. I just don't understand your lack of leadership over the Senate. You don't have leadership over the people of the United States. You work for us. We are your leader. We're the ones that tell you what to do. And we want you to pass the Save America Act, and you won't do it. Because you're a coward, plain and simple. And there's a lot of us that don't like cowards. Especially us retired law enforcement and former military. And those that are in the military, they don't like cowards. If you're sworn to do a job, you do the job. You get it done one way or another. You swore to protect and uphold the Constitution of the United States. Get it done. It's like the Rand deal. Get it over with. Finish them off. Quit pussyfooting around with these idiots. They don't care. They're not interested in a deal. They're playing games. They will play this, and they've been playing this for 47 fucking years. Finish them. The IRGC needs to be wiped off the face of the earth. Finish them. There's no reason for them to be here. The Ayatollah's son, finish him. Get him. You know where he's at. Take him out. This has to end. It's time to get the people of Iran back in charge of their country. Because these radical Islamists that are in charge have to go bye bye forever. There's absolutely no reason they should be there. Because after 47 years of what they've been doing, it's that's it's been way long enough. They've been playing their games for way too long. And we know the game plan. They're not doing anything new. Finish them off. I don't like war, but I'm not afraid to go if it needs to happen. And this one needs to happen. We didn't declare this war, they did. But we need to finish it. And to those in Congress, especially the Democrats that want us to stop this, are you nuts? Of course you're nuts. You're all a bunch of damn cowards and traitors. 100%. You have absolutely no business doing what you're doing or being where you are because you're all traitors. You have nothing, and the only desire you have is to take down the United States of America. And you're doing a pretty damn good job of it. For what you've done over the last 4 years with Obama, Biden, and then the 8 years prior to that with Obama, Biden, oh God. I remember when Barack Hussein Obama stepped out on that stage and said, let's fundamentally change America. I knew we were doomed because America didn't need to be changed at all. When you say that, you're taking America down. There's no reason for it. Why would you need to say something like that? And boy, did he try. Boy, did he try to tear us apart. He sure divided us. He brought racism back. He declared war on the police. Boy, did he declare war on the police. When incidents happened, he was right out front before the investigation even started. calling the police criminals, murderers, and whatever other names he could think of before the investigation even started. Really? You knew that right then and there? And you were a lawyer? Wow. Oh, well. All I can say is I just pray every day that somehow, some way, we can keep a conservative in the White House. And right now, it's pretty much either going to be Secretary of State Rubio or Vice President Vance. And either one of them would be really, really good, in my opinion, because they both are very well spoken and know what's going on and have the common sense to right the ship. That's all I can say about that. Senator Rubio has really surprised me as Secretary of State. He has made some brilliant, brilliant speeches, and just when he answers questions from the press, the things he says about our country shows how much he loves this country. And that, to me, is everything. And Vice President Vance is the same way. Vice President Vance is intelligent, and he has not forgotten where he came from. He is very personable, and I believe that he would do a fabulous job because he knows what we are going through because he's lived it. And he continues to live it, really. He continues to live it. He's very humble. With that, we are going to call it another episode complete. Thanks for checking in. I really appreciate it. Um, Things have been really crazy. I guess I really do appreciate when you check in, and I really hope I can get more of these episodes out. I have pages and pages and pages of notes, and I need to get them organized. I've gotten so far behind on stuff. Um, I just went to my cardiologist last week and got some very disturbing news. And basically, I'm just going to come out and say it that I've been dealing with a very slow heartbeat. And when I mean slow, I'm talking about around 40 beats a minute. And when it gets down that low, I find that I get very tired, or it seems like I'm getting very tired anyway. And basically, I thought I was just having sleep issues. I mean, I would just all of a sudden drop out and fall asleep. And I would wake up an hour, 2 hours later and be like, wow, damn, why am I sleeping so much? And the cardiologist, when I talked to her and told her about that happening, and I've had heart arrhythmia issues, and then that's part of it and all that. I've even had times where it's spiked above 110 and in 120, almost 130 beats a minute, just out of the clear blue. It'll just go. And anyway, with it being the low, though, that low, uh, and me feeling the way I did and thinking I was falling asleep, I was actually passing out. And so, because I told her I wear, an Apple Watch, and I was telling her I was getting warnings about the low heartbeat, and I was getting it about anywhere from 10 to 15 times a day. And I would see not only just, I mean, I was doing it all day long. It would just start giving me the warnings, and I would just drop out. And it didn't matter what time of the day, it was just happening. So she said, "Yeah, I think you're passing out. I don't think you're falling asleep. You're just passing out. And when it's happening, for the length of time, I think that's what's going on." So I've been referred to back to my specialist that deals with the rhythm of the heart, electrical part of it. And my current cardiologist, she thinks that there's a chance that I may have to have a pacemaker put in. But right now they want to do a want me to wear a monitor for a couple weeks to see what it reads. So anyway, that's kind of the what's been going on, and that's why I'm so far behind on stuff, because I'm having these episodes where I just drop out. And when that happens for that length of time, it puts you behind for that length of time, especially when you're working on something, doing something, and you go out and you're all of a sudden you're back and you're like, holy cow, and you lose that kind of amount of time during a day. that that really hurts, losing that amount of time during the day, especially when you got a lot going on as it is. So everything kind of gets juggled around pretty bad, and um, I just lose a lot of time, and it catches just trying to catch up on everything. It's crazy. So all I can ask is that you please bear with me. I really, really want to keep doing more episodes, and I want to do it because I feel better for myself and for the trying to just talk about common sense things, um, and just hopefully talk about stuff that you get and understand, and trying to get more people to understand. I know that there's a lot of people that won't even, as soon as they hear what I'm talking about, they're like, oh, there's another crazy conservative Trump derangement, whatever, another maggot or whatever they want to call me. I don't care. I don't care what you think about me. You can call me whatever you want to call me, a homophobe, an Islamophobe, whatever. I could care less, because I am going to tell the truth. And it's been too long since that's happened. Um, I grew up in the 1980s. And when I grew up during that time, we didn't care about any of this stuff. We were friends with everybody and we didn't care. So it it was a time that um, it was just a time, in a period of time, that it was really, really good. And so it's one of those things that, as a Gen Xer, uh, unless you were a Gen Xer, you would not understand. And so there's a lot of us that, when we think about that and talk about that, we go, oh, yeah, we know exactly what you're talking about. Don't even have to talk about it, because we just know. And so, yeah, a lot of us get it. And that's just how we feel, because we lived it. We lived in a time where there was no division. Everybody just got along. We didn't care. We just did not care. We liked each other. We didn't care about what your background was, what you did, whatever. We just didn't care. So That's what we hope for. Again, is that who cares what you know what your background is, who you are. We just care about your character, your and the content of your character. And sadly, with all this division that's going on, seems to be like it's going to continue because that's all the Democrats are pushing for is this chaos and division by doing this. Well, we got to get the gays out there. We got to get the trans out there. We got to get this out there, this group, that group, whatever group. And it just creates hatred and division, and it doesn't need to be happening. We don't need all these weird Pride Month or Black Months or whatever. It doesn't need to be out there. That stuff needs to be dropped because that's what creates the problems. There should be none of it. We are here in this country. We are all Americans and we need to live as Americans. Period. End of story. So thanks for checking in. You've been listening to and watching Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. I am Bob Benham. God bless you. God bless these United States of America. And until next time, bye-bye.